Hi, I'm Laura Nelkin. I'm a knitwear designer. I live in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes region. And this video is going to teach you how to use an I-cord tool to do an attached I-cord edging. I have a separate video that teaches you how to do an attached I-cord edging with knitting needles. And if you aren't familiar with attached I-cord edgings, I suggest that you watch that so you understand the concept of them, because I'm going to jump right in and show you how to work them with an I-cord tool. Every video I talk about in this tutorial, I will link to below, so definitely check. We'll also make some chapters for you so you can jump around in the video and watch the part that is pertinent to what you are knitting. I use attached I-cord edgings often in my designs. Sometimes I will use them on live stitches at the neckline of a piece, like in Bling Tee or in some other sweaters that I've designed. And sometimes I will use them along the edge of a piece, like in Lake Hug, where I use a technique of mine called Lola's pickup line, and then work an attached I-cord edging all the way around the edge of that sweater scarf. So there's multiple places that you might find to incorporate this technique into your knitting. Now, I-cord tool. Some of you might be saying, what is that? I've never heard of that before. I first ran across I-cord tools when I was on Instagram one night a few years ago. I stumbled across a reel that a Chilean crocheter had made that was using this tool that is basically like a little mini knitting machine for your hands. It's very handy for a variety of things. I do have a separate, pretty in-depth video that teaches you how to use the tool, how the tool works, kind of how to do cast-ons and bind-offs and basic things with it. So if you're brand new to working with an I-cord tool, I highly suggest you check out that video. I will also link to it below. But what we're going to do in this video is jump right in with techniques that you need to know for working an attached I-cord edging along live stitches with an I-cord tool and then across picked up stitches. I'll be showing you how to start with a closed cast on and how to start with an open cast on. So there's going to be lots of learning in this video, and I'm very excited to share that with you. So let's jump right in. Okay, we're going to start by working with live stitches on a needle and a closed cast on to get going with this attached I-cord. So I'm going to start with a double pointed needle and work a cable cast on and add 3 more stitches to the edge onto this needle. So then I can take those stitches and slide them onto my I-cord tool. This I-cord tool that I'm using is from Twice Sheared Sheep. They call this the cord quill. I do go over a variety of I-cord tools in that other video that I told you about. I'll link to everything below. So I'm going to go ahead and cable cast on 3 stitches, which means I'm going to take my needle and go in between those first 2 stitches on my needle, wrap my yarn around, pull it through, and then put that stitch onto the left-hand needle. And I've just added 1 stitch to my knitting. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that 2 more times so that I'm casting on 3 stitches total. This ends up being a closed cast on at the beginning right there. I'm going to also show you when we go to do this same technique along the edge of a little mini lake hug that I have. I'll show you how to start with a provisional cast on. So I'll hit both of those things. Now, once you have all 3 of those stitches on your needle, the next thing to do is to transfer those 3 stitches to your I-cord tool. This is much easier to do if those stitches are on your needle, because you can just kind of go in and press that first hook into that stitch and slide it on. And then I can go ahead and I can do that with the second stitch, and then I can go ahead and do that with the 3rd stitch. So those stitches right there are the 3 stitches that I just cast on. And you can see that I have those stitches beyond the latch right there. And now the next thing that I'm going to do is take that first stitch on the needle and I'm going to slide it onto that first hook right there. So you'll see that you have 2 loops on the first hook. And now I'm going to take my working yarn and I'm going to bring it so it's going over all 3 of those hooks. And then I am going to slide those stitches forward so they go over the loops. And then I'm going to pull them back so they go beyond the latches. And I've just bound off 1 stitch from my needle. Now I'm going to go into that next stitch on my needle, slide it off, and put it onto the latch, wrap my yarn around just like before, and now I'm going to pull forward. You're going to notice when I do that, I squeeze my needles a little bit just to help things slide off the end of the needle. Now, you're probably going to find as you work this with an I-cord tool that if you just kept going and sliding each consecutive stitch onto that first needle of the tool, that your attached I-cord is going to be too tight. So what I end up doing is every other stitch or every stitch, I pick up the leg in between those 2 stitches from the back to the front, and I put it on the needle. The reason that I pick up from the back is that twists the stitch, and I'll show you what happens if we pick it up from the front, because you'll see there's a little hole. So now if you look at your I-cord tool, you'll see you have those 2 loops right there, and then 1 and 1, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap my yarn around, and I'm pulling from the bottom, I'm squeezing a little bit, and then I'm sliding back. And now I'll go and work another stitch from the needle right there, wrap the yarn around, and pull it through. Now, sometimes when you're doing this, you need to try a little bit. With some gauges, you're going to end up picking up in between every stitch on the needle from the back to the front. And with some gauges, you might do it every other stitch. It changes for me, so I can't really tell you for sure to do one or the other. You're going to want to, you might want to place a lifeline before you try this. You might want to play with a gauge swatch if you have one for the project that you're working on to play around and see which is going to be the best. This is a really fast way to do an attached I-cord bind off or edging than working with knitting needles. Super fast. Really enjoy it. Okay. And I am continuing on like this. You can see that I can be picking up that stitch, but what I want to show you here is why I pick up from the back to the front. If I pick up that stitch from the front to the back, that leg in between those 2 stitches, and then I wrap my yarn around and pull it through, you can see right there that there's a hole, especially if I work a stitch or 2 more, just so you can like really see it. You can kind of see that hole right there versus when I pick up the stitch through the back loop so that I'm twisting it, it really tightens up that edge beautifully. So I think that you're going to find that when you're picking up those stitches, you want to pick them up from the back to the front to tighten it up. You will notice that I cast on 3 stitches for this I-cord edging because I have 3 needles on my I-cord tool. I forgot to say that earlier. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I thought I should tell you that. So that is how you would work the attached I-cord edging if you have live stitches on your needles. The next thing that we want to look at is if you are picking up stitches along the edge of a project and working an attached I-cord edging. So let's go ahead and do that next. Okay, so I have a little mini lake hug and fingering weight yarn underneath the camera here to show you how to work the attached I-cord edging on Lake Hug with an I-cord tool. And you will see a lot of what I call stitch saver. If you look underneath the camera, that is 2 mm hollow tubing that I like to use so that I don't have to pick up stitches, because I really don't like picking up stitches. You could also work this by starting by picking up stitches along the edge of your work before you go to work with the I-cord tool. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I am going to take a spare needle and put it into the end of my stitch saver and just slide all of those wraps from Lola's pickup line onto my needle so that I'm ready to work the attached I-cord edging with the tool. If that is new to you and you don't know about Lola's pickup line, you really should know about Lola's pickup line, and I will link an entire video for you below to learn more about it. So I'm all set up right here on Lake Hug, and I am ready to start working the attached I-cord edging. And Lake Hug has you start with a provisional cast on. So I want to show you how to do that. And because I love Stitch Saver, I'll be doing my provisional cast on onto a piece of Stitch Saver as well. So I'm going to do this quickly. I feel like I sound like a broken record, but I do have a separate video for those of you who've never done a provisional cast on onto Stitch Saver before. The first thing that you're going to do is make a slip knot, and the most important thing you want to do is take that slip knot and put it onto your Stitch Saver, not onto your needle like I was about to do. And if you are working Lake Hug and you are working with an I-cord tool, you want to be casting on 3 stitches, not 4 stitches. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my needle and go underneath the stitch saver and grab 1 stitch. And now I have 1 stitch on my needle. And then I'm going to make a yarn over, and then I'm going to reach underneath and grab 1 more stitch. And now I have 3 stitches on my needle, and I have 3 stitches on my, sorry, I lost my words right there. I have 3 stitches on the needle, and I have 3 stitches on the stitch saver. And now the next thing that I want to do is go ahead and knit 1 row. And of course, I just need to steal the other end of the needle that's on my sample because I forgot to grab a 3rd needle for the video. So I'm just going to go ahead and knit those 3 stitches. And once I have those 3 stitches knit, I'm going to take those stitches and transfer them to my I-cord tool, but I just need to get them back to my other needle first. If you have an extra needle, you don't need to finagle like I just did. I had to do a little video cheat. So now I've got those 3 stitches on my knitting needle, and I am going to go ahead and transfer them to my I-cord tool. It's pretty important to knit that 1 row because with that yarn over, things are going to be way too loosey-goosey on your I-cord tool. So I'm just going to go ahead and transfer 1 stitch, transfer a 2nd stitch, and transfer a 3rd stitch. And now I have all 3 of my stitches set up on my I-cord tool, and I am ready to start working the attached I-cord edging. So if you look at the stitches on my needle right here, you're going to see that they are mounted with the left leg in front and the right leg in back. And that is on purpose. Make sure that you put your first needle of your I-cord tool. Sorry, I'm going to take that out and do that again so you can really see it. Make sure that you go in from the front to the back so that you are twisting that stitch. You want to make sure this is nice and tight and tidy. If you go through the hole or through that right leg, it's going to end up being too loose. And then you're going to take your yarn and you're going to wrap it over all 3 of those needles and then squeeze a little bit and pull your stitches back. And now you're going to go ahead and do that 1 more time where you put your needle into that stitch You're going to wrap your yarn around and you are going to pull forward just like that. And now you need to pick up a stitch in between those two stitches so that your edging doesn't get too tight. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is pick up that loop right there, that stitch right along the edge, and put it onto the needle. And then I'm going to go into it from the back to the front, twisting it. It's pretty important that you twist that stitch. Wrap the yarn around and pull it through. I'm going to do that one more time. So now I'm going to work 2 stitches in a row off of the needle. Wrap the yarn around, pull it through. I'm going to do that one more time. Wrap the yarn around and pull it through. And now I'm going to pick up this stitch right here. I'm going to put it onto the needle. If you can get it onto the needle from the back to the front, even easier because you can just go through the front of it. The big twist here, the big trick here is to make sure that you are twisting those stitches so they're nice and tight and tidy and don't leave any holes along your edge. Bring your yarn over, pull your stitches through. You're going to continue that all the way across, and you can see that you're making that nice, tight and tidy I-cord edge along the sleeve of your leg hug, and that's just going to tidy things up beautifully. I will tell you that I've been playing with I-cord tools going on 2 years now, and my hands have built muscle memory and they're very comfortable working with them. It is not going to go this smoothly for you when you are just learning how to work with your I-cord tool. So play around with it a bunch, just make a bunch of I-cord, make some bracelets, put some beads on them, have a good time with it, make sure that your hand gets comfortable, and then start trying other tricks like this, like doing the I-cord attached I-cord bind off or attached I-cord edging. Super fun, way faster than working with a knitting needle once you learn how to do it. I will suggest if you run into situations where your stitches jump off of your tool, and it is going to happen to you, not to try to get your tool into those live stitches. I can try and show you right here and see if you can see this. So if I just kind of pull my tool out and then I start trying to get my tool back in there, watch, it's going to work right now. I just managed to do it. Typically, when you go to do that, it doesn't go that smoothly, and your stitches start to collapse on themselves and you can't get your hooks in. The easiest thing to do is to take those stitches and put them onto your knitting needle and then transfer them over to your tool, like I showed you how to do at the beginning with that cast on. I do have in my I-cord tool video a section on fixing mistakes. So if you start to run into stuff like that, just go ahead and watch that. Ask questions here, ask questions over there. I am really excited for you to become proficient using this tool. I think it's a great thing to have in your knitting arsenal, and you're going to find lots of uses for it. I know that I certainly have. So any questions, please feel free to ask the answer. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them below. I am around. I am happy to help you. I would love if you would follow my channel, give me a like, sign up for my newsletter. I am constantly kind of exploring and learning and sharing, and I can't do that without your support. So thank you so much. Happy knitting.